In this video, my friend, I'm going to share with you something really key. The power that you have to transform your life. And that superpower, you know what it's called? Personal branding. Alright? You don't want to miss this one. Dimitri here, Mountain of Inspiration. Let's get started. Most of us will live our lives like victims. We say to ourselves that yes, this has happened to me, this has happened to my forefathers, this is happening to me, and this will be happening to my children. So therefore, I am a victim. There is nothing much I can do about my situation, about what I can basically qualify for. So basically, the lines have fallen onto me, onto all the wrong places. So therefore, I'm not going to amount to much. My children and their children will not amount to much. So we simply spend the rest of our life living like victims. And I can see where could be coming from if this is your position. But today I'm going to just share with you two stories and also a simple technique you can start applying today to simply transform your life and give you the boost that you so need as far as what your life is supposed to mean. Two examples. The first example is of this gentleman I've been talking about for the past few weeks, for the past few days, by the name of Steve Jobs. Born on February 24, 1955, and in the condition that you know. His biological father simply said, I don't want anything to do with this pregnancy, so please keep this pregnancy to yourself. That he was speaking to the mother of the child. The mother of the child turns now to her father, now the biological grandfather to the unborn child, and simply says, this young man has abandoned me, so what's next? The grandfather simply says, I can see your predicament, I can see your situation right now, but as far as we are concerned, you can keep the child because you have not been a single mom, so you have no clue what it means to raise a child as a single mom. So therefore, you have to put up this child for adoption. She goes this route. She goes to a local adoption agencies, and everything is actually set in motion to make this happen. But unfortunately, after the very first introduction to the child to the world, the family was supposed to welcome the child simply says, no, we don't want anything to do with this child because the gender of this child is the wrong one. We're looking and expecting to have a girl, and this is a boy, so therefore we're going to simply say, no, you can take the child back to the sender. So through rejection within the first few stages of life, eventually it was adopted by a family of German descent named as Jobs. And the Jobs basically welcomed Steve and simply gave him a loving environment and raised him to become a fine gentleman who at the young age of almost immature quote-unquote age of barely 21, basically in 1976, he had the audacity to believe that yes, he could be a game changer without a college education, without a college degree. He had the audacity to believe it could be the next big thing as far as the world of business is concerned. So again, born in 1955 and barely in 1977, so barely 21 years old, he had the audacity to believe that he had the next big idea. I mean, guess what? Eventually, he started making things happen and to simply revolutionize the world of computer and the world of business as they knew it back in the 1970s. It became so big and so iconic that by the 1980s, almost everyone who knew something about business knew of Steve Jobs. One of them, of course, his biological father, who at the time had a business, a restaurant. And Steve Jobs, people say he did not know, but of course Steve Jobs being Steve Jobs, he must have done research to figure exactly who his biological father was and where he was staying. Steve Jobs started patronizing his biological father's business. He will go there and simply buy meal and also leave some huge, humongous tips to the point where the owner, now his biological father, started talking about him, saying, yes, this young man, this iconic businessman by the name of Steve Jobs patronizes my business. He comes in, and when he comes in, he leaves huge tips. What a gentleman, what an amazing young man. And while this was happening, he had no clue that the same man he was praising was the precise young boy that he refused to actually acknowledge as a son back in the 1955. First story. Second story. Before 1968, before he relocated to Delaware in America, this young man by the name of Bob Marley found himself in a very interesting predicament. What was it? He said to himself, it looks like I was born on the wrong side of the streets. My mother and father conceived me. My mom gave birth to me. But for some reason, it seemed like the lines are falling onto me on the wrong places. I am a victim of the circumstances. I cannot find a way to make anything happen. So, because I want to be a musician, but I don't have the means to make things happen as far as the music industry is concerned. But I know that my father used to be a very busy man. I don't want to say womanizer, but a very busy man. So he had other children within this city known as Kingstown. So I know that one of them is doing fabulously very well. And I know he has a dry cleaning business somewhere in Kingston, Jamaica. So what did he do? He found a way to locate the business and he went on to knock on the door. And as soon as he knocked on the door, the employees looked at him and said, my goodness, this young man looks like our boss. And he also want to talk to our boss. Okay, let us make this thing happen. Introduce him to the boss. And he spoke to the boss and basically his brother. And simply says, you don't know me, but of course I am your brother through your father and so on and so forth. I'm here because I would like to ask for assistance. I have this big dream of becoming a musician, making it big in the world of entertainment. But I don't have the means, so I was just hoping that you could actually put something together and give it to me so I can actually go on to represent the family well, the family name very well on the world stage. His brother listened to me and simply says, no, rejection. I cannot be part of this, so therefore I'm going to have to ask you to simply leave. As a matter of fact, let me show you the door. So he showed him the door and simply kicked him out. Bob Marley went home. So he said to himself, I am not going to go home to complain and to lament and to simply start crying and say, pity me. No, I'm going to go home and do what I do best. I'm going to put together a song, and I'm simply going to call this song The Stone That the builders have rejected have become the headquarters stone that's actually making everything happen and supporting the whole house. And by the time Bob Marley passed away, and someone went to Jamaica to actually make a documentary about this, they went on to interview the daughter of one of these gentlemen that basically kicked Bob Marley out, and they told him the story about how the two met and how basically our father refused to help Bob Marley, and Bob Marley went on to write this song, and how true the lyrics of the song had become a reality as far as the family structure is concerned. She listened to the song and she was amazed that indeed Bob Marley had become the stone that was now supporting the whole structure as far as the family name Marley is concerned. So why am I telling you this story? To simply illustrate the fact that yes, you cannot be branded victim as far as life is concerned, but you have the power of yourself to simply rebrand yourself and to simply start looking at life differently by simply saying, yes, you have tried me, I'm going now to find ways to simply reinvent myself. And by doing that, you're simply going to go from being a victim to now becoming someone going to be now making things happen for your community. Bob Marley did it between 1972 and 1981. Steve Jobs did it from 1976. As far as entertainment and business are concerned, all these two examples simply stand as a reminder that you don't have to be a victim for the rest of your life. You can go on to simply rebrand yourself, rebrand your situation, and simply go on to simply make history. All it will simply take is the will and the desire. From that point to simply go on to the next step, to start writing things down as to what exactly you want to achieve as far as your life is concerned. And when you start doing that, my friend, all I can simply say is, my friend, sky is the limit. Alright? If you need any help as far as rebranding is concerned, please reach out to me and help you make things happen as far as your journey is concerned. Take good care. The best is yet to come. Remember, you have power. You have supernatural powers to simply change the situation by simply going to what I simply call personal branding. Alright, I'm out. Much love to you. Take good care.